Hi, I'm Sky Crystal. I'm culturally confused and creatively liberated, and today I'm going to organise my mini greenhouse and give you a tour of it, which is just here. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so I've had this mini greenhouse set up for around 6 to 7 months and it's been incredible. I am very happy with it. I will be upgrading it to a glass and metal IKEA cabinet at some point soon, but for now I'm just going to keep it as this, and it's doing the job. It was, I think, £30. I've done a blog post and I'll link it in here for everything that I use in the mini greenhouse setup, so it will be in the description box below. But let me show you what I'm working with because I'm going to organise it first. As you can see, it is incredibly full at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by taking every single thing out and then carefully placing it all back in there. And then I'll tell you a little bit about the plants. Okay. Ta-da! A clean shelf. And let me just show you what we've got here. Look at this one. Look at her. No. 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 She thinks it's a game. Don't you? You think it's a game. But look how cute I am. Okay, some of the propagations that I've got going on here, I started a little while ago, and some of them are plants that I saved from either bug infestations or by Luna or something like that. And some of them are plant swaps. We'll start with the Syngonium. So this is a Syngonium mojito. Look at that beautiful variegation. Is it variegation? Colouring on the leaves. I love it. I'm so excited for this one to just establish itself. It's rooting at the moment quite well, and so that means I'll be potting it up very soon. I might actually pot this up today. There's its root system, and I'm rooting the Syngonium cutting in sphagnum moss, but for now it's just going to establish itself into a bigger plant and a bigger, happier growing plant. And I'm so happy I got this from Terry. Thank you so much, Terry. And then, so I'm going to pop that one there, and this is my potting up section. Check them all today and then pot things up that need to be potted up. This is a variegated Adansonii and it's busy propagated. This is a cutting I took earlier on in the year. I've had one successful cutting being taken. A couple have died, and this one is taking its sweet time to grow, so I've left it in. I've tried it in sphagnum moss and it didn't work. It's still alive, so I'm giving it some time to just grow in some clay balls, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to put this one at the back. This is another Monstera Adansonii wide form variegata. I don't know if it's, the variegation isn't very prominent in this one. There's not a lot of white, there's just a different colour green. That happened with another cutting that I took, but I'm not sure. They haven't pushed out new leaves yet, and this one seems to be more variegated because the new growth is whiter than the rest of it, so I'm hoping the variegation is stable. I'm not actually sure, but I've got some cuttings growing and I'm really excited for them to grow, so pop that one there. And then these two Monstera Adansonii mint variegata cuttings that I took and are producing new leaves. This one lost its original leaf that was like about this size, but it's pushing out new growth and the new leaf is about to unfurl, and this one is already unfurling, and I'm really happy with these two. They are growing so nicely. I propagated quite a few cuttings from my mother plant, which I'll show you in a minute. I made another video about propagating it and attaching it to a moss pole, and you can watch that. Yeah, so these two are doing really well, so I'm going to put these up here. These are the most recent cuttings from my mother plant, Monstera Mint Variegata, and they rooted really quickly in clay balls, so I'm going to leave them in these and you can see the growth. There's not much growth because I only did it yesterday, so we'll see how these grow. I'm going to put this at the back. And then my little babies, my Monstera Obliqua cuttings. There's 3 of them in here and they are currently rooting in water. This one's rooting and pushing out new growth. So I'm really happy about that because that was terrifying cutting that up. There's slight yellowing to the leaves because sphagnum moss wasn't humid enough. There wasn't enough water in it. So I changed it to clay balls and now they are rooting a lot quicker. So I'm going to invest in some more of these at some point. And then I've got 2 Rhaphidophora tetrasperma cuttings. One's in sphagnum moss, one's in soil. I'm going to pot this one up today as well. These are originally from a plant that I got from when it was called Online Baby Plants, but they've changed to plants.com. I love plants.com. I would highly recommend them for plants. This cutting used to be a much more established plant, but to save it I had to cut it up into 2 separate wet sticks, and this is the result of almost a year's worth of growth. We've been through a lot, folks. We've been through a lot, so this has been a godsend to the plants and everything else. So I'm going to pop this one up as well. This one I'll leave as it is and I'll just pop it on the end. And then we've got, I think this is a philodendron, partly philodendron. It's a little baby cutting. It's really cute. I'm not sure what it is, but it's a mystery cutting that I keep growing and I've been trying to keep it alive because I don't know what it is. So mystery cutting can go in here. And then I've got a Monstera adansonii wide form cutting in sphagnum moss, just growing. I think it's rooted now. I'm not ready to pot it up yet though because it hasn't pushed out any new growth in regards to leaves yet, so which I can compare with these 2, which are growing really well. And I might, let me just check, it's rooting but in a very peculiar way. So I'm going to check these out and pot them up as well. And then I have Tradescantia pallida, which is looking very sad. And this is because Luna decided to attack it with her mouth. Didn't you, baby? Didn't you? Yes. So it's in the greenhouse and under the grow light in order to grow back to its original former glory. Very humid in there. I'm not sure how well it's going to do, but it's pushed out some new growth already, so I'm really happy about that. And Luna is staying far away from it because it's up here. So I'm going to put that in the back corner. Just out of the way. Then I've got a Cebu blue cutting that is rooting in perlite and water. You can see the root kind of there, and it's also rooting at the top. And I love this because my friend Terry gave it to me as well when she gave me the Syngonium mojito. So I'm waiting for this to establish roots a little bit more and then I will pot it up. But for the time being you can go over here with all your friends. And then this is a Monstera adansonii cutting, so I'm going to pop that one back. It used to be over 1 meter long and then it got some sort of bug and some of the lost a load of leaves, so then it turned into wet stick cuttings, and that's what all of these baby monsteras are for. So where are we? And then a Monstera siltipicana cutting, which is beautiful, currently rooting in perlite and water, and it's finally pushed out some root growth, so I'll just shimmy that back in there. And then these 5 cuttings are finally pushing out some growth after about 2 months of propagating in water and sphagnum moss and testing sphagnum moss, and that took quite a while. So, and I didn't get any progress from that until I put it into semi-hydro and perlite and water mixture. And now I'm finally seeing growth points appear, so I'm really happy about that. And I'm going to put that over here by the other ones. Then I have a tiny Oxalis triangularis, which has just decided to give off a little shoot. There's one bulb in there and I'm putting it in here to keep it safe. Then I have a Philodendron Brazil cutting, and then I've got a Begonia maculata cutting, and it's pushing out new growth. This is what's left of my begonia, which was about this big, and I lost all the leaves because I didn't water it properly, and this is what we've got left. Then we have a Philodendron melanochrysum wet stick cutting with top cutting with a leaf. I'm waiting for this to root. I don't know if it's going to root. This is an experiment. It's also trying to save the plant. Then I will put the name of this on the screen, but I don't know I can't pronounce the name of this, but it's a beautiful plant and it flowers, and it's got the mature leaves have like a deep purple undertone to the leaves, and then on top it's like a dark green, veins of light green going through them. They're beautiful. It's a very beautiful little plant. And then we've got another wet stick, which is actually pushing out some root growth for either a Philodendron melanochrysum or a Philodendron verrucosum. I think this one is the melanochrysum, because the Philodendron verrucosum ones all seem to die on me, so that was great. I bought another one and another one. I'm just not having great luck with the verrucosum recently. The melanochrysum is doing well. Sorry, I'm just taking off some of the dead leaves on this. This is a Polida, but these ones are also plant swap plants. Then we've got a Syngonium tri-head wonder. I love it. Look at the new growth on this leaf. Look how shiny it is. Look how shiny it is. Isn't it gorgeous? And then I've got a Philodendron lemon lime, which I recently propped and rooted in water. That has made some space for some plants, which has made me very happy, and now it's all neat and tidy. I've still got some bits down here, but that means we can put this Tradescantia pallida up on this shelf instead. Okay, so this is a fun shelf. I want to make it look at least a little bit prettier than the top shelf, so I'm going to try and do that whilst I talk you through all the plants that I've got. Some of these are rescues and some of these I'm just looking after them at the moment. This is a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, and I love this plant. It's doing really, really well in here and growing. That was the reason it's in here, is because of Luna attacking it, and that's what Luna did. So we keep it in here because it's not pet friendly, and I also don't want it to just have a lot of cosmetic damage, so I'm keeping it in here where it's safe along with all the other cuttings, and then I keep this closed, and they keep the humidity to about 72%, 80% sometimes. And then we have a Marantula canura, which is also doing really, really well. They are loving this greenhouse, let me tell you. I love this plant. It's growing really well. It started from a cutting and it's blossoming. It's blossoming. I'm waiting for it to flower. I'm waiting. But that I'm assuming will happen next year. So I've got another one of these over there. And then Philodendron verrucosum, which is the new leaf is unfurling, as you can see there. This was one of the recent purchases from plants.com, and I absolutely love it. I love this plant so much. It's one of my favorites. Everything in here needs water, so I'm going to do that at some point. I'm just going to pop you down there. And then in this corner, which I propagated yesterday and repotted into a bigger planter with a moss pole so it can grow up this moss pole. I'm going to leave this in here to just stay there because I did think of taking Mint Adansonii variegata out of the greenhouse, but I want it to grow again, so and quickly, and it does grow very quickly, so I'm putting it back in here. It's just the little Monstera family that's going on that I absolutely love, and it stays in this corner and it grows really happily. Then my sad but also really cute giant pot tiny leaf situation going on here. The Monstera Adansonii variegata, which is just, I propagated this and it's just pushed out these 2 leaves, and you can see the variegation on there is beautiful. So that, once it's a bit bigger and more established, I'll take this out. Part of me regrets chopping it, but also you got to experiment, and now I've got 3 of them, so I'm hoping that the variegation stays stable in all of them. I'm not sure if they're unstable, I've said that before, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. At least it's growing, so that's good. A Monstera Adansonii, which desperately needs a water. I think I'm going to pot up a couple of these into here, so there's multiple plants in the pot. Kind of okay, it's growing. I just keep forgetting to water it, so sorry about that. And then I've got a rescue from something that I overwatered, but this bit is still strong and the root system is okay. Philodendron verrucosum, which I overwatered and all the leaves got sad, and this is what's left of it, so I'm hoping it does what another plant is doing and it grows. Then I've got a Monstera mint variegata cutting that has 2 growth points that I'm hoping that take. 2 growth points, 1 either side, and I'm hoping that they grow as well, which is this one here. So I'm going to put this under here. And then I've got a baby Philodendron squamiferum. I love this little plant, it's so cute, and I'm so excited to see the leaves grow into what it's meant to be. I'm gonna tidy up. All of these have dust on them, so I'm gonna try and clean the leaves off a little bit today. And then I've got a baby Thai constellation. Look at that half moon leaf. Look at it. Isn't it gorgeous? I love how this is growing. It's so cute, it's so beautiful. It's not strong, really strong variegation, but it's a baby and it's really cute and I love it. So we're keeping that one in here. And then one of my pride and joy plants, all of them are my pride and joy plants, a Monstera obliqua, and that's just pushed out a new leaf and it's unfurled already. Look at that colouring. And it's pushing out another one, so I'm really excited about that. And with the high humidity, it's pushing out, oh, gonna grow another one here. And then my other pride and joy baby cutting that I have from saving a Monstera Thai constellation, this little cutie here, baby Thai constellation. This was my original Thai constellation that I ordered a few years ago, and when I was moving and everything, along with the Rhaptophora tetrasperma, and I was in hospital, they didn't survive very well, but they are surviving for me now from new cuttings. So let's pray these will get to a stage where they're big enough to be planted out and just go in the house. And then my little baby Monstera Adansonii narrow form, which again, another cutting that I've saved recently from, this used to be a massive established plant and this is all I have left of it. So this, I'm praying, lasts and grows into a more established plant again. So it just stays in here and stays up there, and I'm waiting for it to get fenestrations. And the last one that we've got in here is a Philodendron melanochrysum, which is pushing it. And this I overwatered as well, and it's pushing out new growth just there, and I'm really excited about it. So that means that it will grow into an established plant again, and those are all the plants in my mini greenhouse. Let's pot the other plants up, which we've got here. Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, these Monstera adansonii cuttings, and this beautiful Syngonium mojito. And I've also got peperomia cuttings in here. I can't remember which peperomia it is, and until it's bigger I won't be able to tell you. And then I've got a wet stick cutting of a golden pothos that is finally growing, and I just leave it in here because it's tiny and I'm waiting for it to actually root. It's pushing out leaf growth but not root growth, so I'm just going to leave that there. And then in this one, pop this little wet stick of a mint variegata cutting into this pot here and let that grow. Let's pot stuff up, yay! One, it started rooting there and it's pushed out a growth point here and it's rooting here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this just here and put that into water to grow and that into water to grow. Well, in the sphagnum moss. So, we've potted up the Rhaphidophora tetrasperma cutting. The Syngonium mojito has been potted up, so that's going to go on the shelf. Well, after a little while they'll go on the shelf, but until further notice they're going to go back in the greenhouse. And we have two cuttings of Monstera adansonii wide form that aren't ready yet. They're pushing out new growth and a new leaf and roots, so I'm going to leave them in the greenhouse as well to root for a little longer. And this one I've repotted. I potted the two that were ready up into into my mum's plant, so she's got 3 plants of these instead of 1. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. That's basically everything for today. Thank you for watching this mini greenhouse tour and me just play with plants. I'm going to water these now and put them back in the greenhouse, and yeah. Una and I say see you in the next video. You're going to be sassy. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!